Why teach inclusively? Education today remains standardized and uniform through its educational practices, routines, classroom management, setup, and instructional approaches. There have been multiple improvements made within the education system towards implementing a less standardized learning environment by actively promoting an all-encompassing, inclusive environment and inclusive practice. You may be wondering, what does inclusion mean? And how would this change a mainstream classroom? Inclusion, as a term, means different things to different people, therefore implying that within education, each person requires different instruction, approaches, resources, or tools to fit their needs. An inclusive classroom involves personalized teaching rather than standardized teaching. Learning environments that are designed with a deep understanding and appreciation for individual variability. Building relationships with each individual student to best meet their academic needs, specifically learning about each student's strengths and interests. And flexible learning tools, resources, and differentiated experiences for all learners. Unfortunately, despite the fact the education system is working towards inclusiveness, standardization remains highly implemented. This results in students with disabilities and variabilities experiencing segregation from the mainstream classroom or treated differently for their specific academic needs. Many individuals continue to be under-challenged, stressed, or simply disaffected because of the narrow and rigid kinds of teaching and learning that schools continue to promulgate. These students tend to become unsatisfied within their learning environment. For example, gifted students experiencing boredom due to a lack of under-challenge, or students with dyslexia feeling stressed due to poor resources to assist in their comprehension and understanding with reading and writing complex material. As teachers, we have the responsibility and the ability to plan for the success of every learner. Therefore, it is crucial that we, as teachers, implement an inclusive approach to our teaching so that each student can flourish and grow to their optimal potential. One of the main concerns about implementing inclusiveness to a mainstream classroom is whether or not inclusion will hold back or hinder academic achievement of students without disabilities. However, many students, not just students with disabilities, are faced with barriers and impediments that infer with their ability to make optimal progress and to develop as educated and productive citizens. Interestingly enough, researchers have noted that academic achievement of typical students is not affected adversely under inclusion, and have found significant gains to those students when inclusion occurs. For example, it was noted from a study that students who were included in a mainstream classroom initiated more interactions with peers with disabilities, and peers without disabilities initiated more interactions with the students with disabilities, therefore benefiting both parties, specifically their academic growth and social interactions. Now that we know the benefits of teaching inclusively, what can teachers do today to ensure that they are achieving an inclusive practice? Number 1, knowing your students, specifically who they are and how they learn. This will make differentiated planning and instruction possible. Teachers can create learner profiles for each student through one-to-one interviews, written reflections, checklists, and input from parental figures to best understand their students and their academic needs. Number 2, differentiated learning and instruction. This means providing students multiple pathways to learn, such as giving your students a choice on ways to display their knowledge, a choice to pursue interests, a choice to work individually or in a group setting. Also providing differentiated instruction to best serve each individual student. For example, when instructing a gifted student, a teacher should enhance opportunities for thinking and learning rather than for work time. Number 3, flexible and reflective, meaning a teacher that is flexible and reflective within their approach in teaching, scheduling, presented attitudes, and presented behaviors within the classroom. And finally, number 4, sharing the learning, meaning sharing the responsibility of learning with the students via scaffolding. As teachers, we have the opportunity to promote achievement, independence, and interdependence of individual students with and without disabilities. Let's create a learning environment that honors diversity and variability, so each student can flourish and grow. Brought to you by Birch Productions.